Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special late night edition of NBC News Channel's 13 Now. You're on personalized YouTube newscast. With you, I am Steve Coos, your friendly neighborhood anchor. I'm going to break down some of the top stories we're chasing tonight. I'm going to do it quick because we got an 11 o'clock newscast to get on with. Anyhow, if you're not going to watch us at 11, here is the stuff you need to know to go into tomorrow a smarter person. Anyway, we begin tonight with the Dirtbiker who almost struck and killed a Albany student. He's just been released from jail. You might recognize his face over here. Austin Briette, 25-year-old. According to Albany court, Austin Briette posted his bail this morning. He's accused of hitting a Albany student named Alexa Croft with his dirt bike. He sped away, but he was later caught, apprehended. So he has now been released from jail under the supervision of a probation officer. He's currently being monitored electronically. He's accused of slamming his dirt bike into Alexa Croft here, this young girl, nearly killing her. She was with her friends in Hudson Avenue, and that's when she was run over by Austin Briette, authorities say. The crash caused Croft to be thrown into the roadway for a number of feet. She was left badly broken, bleeding, head injuries, leg injuries, a crushed pelvis, had to go through a number of brain surgeries. Briette fled off, left the scene, even flipped the bird to Mrs. Croft's friends, and just took off without reporting the accident and trying to even tamper with physical evidence. He allegedly hit his dirt bike so he wouldn't get caught in this whole instance. Well, he is now, after spending a couple of months in jail, free, pending the continuance of his trial as that situation moves forward. On to their big story of the day in Rensselaer County. This is a story we have been updating you on for the past couple of days. 3 county officials in Rensselaer now being charged with ballot fraud. Their fate remains in the hands of a jury this evening because the jury couldn't come to an agreement earlier this morning and pretty much all day, 8 hours, when they tried to deliberate and figure out if these 3 were guilty here. For the past 2 weeks, the prosecution has claimed that Richard Christ, Jim Gordon, and Leslie Wallace, as you see here, conspired to intimidate Rensselaer County employees, intimidating them into signing absentee ballots. The former officials then allegedly handed those ballots over so they could then fill in their preferred candidates and use them to vote over and over and over again for who they wanted. So prosecutors say that was illegal. The defense attorneys say otherwise. These 3 are now facing conspiracy to violate constitutional right charges. Gordon is also facing witness tampering. Wallace is accused of making a false statement. Jury deliberations resume tomorrow. We are at News Channel 13 are all over this. Our Dan Levy was literally in court all day long, only taking a bathroom break or 2 when the judge did that. Anyway, we'll be back with that story again tomorrow. Not done quite yet. Well, the next story we got here, this one is pretty remarkable. A veteran from World War II, killed in action. His remains were missing for 82 years to this very day. That is until they were finally found and brought home and laid to rest. It's an astonishing story here that we want to tell you about. 82 years to this day, a Clarksburg, Berkshire County native was killed in action in World War II, as I mentioned. His name, Private First Class Irwin King. Community members gathered for a special burial of King's remains this afternoon. They gathered at the Southwest Cemetery in North Adams. That is where King's parents were also laid to rest. They had a funeral, a plot for him right next to where their burial plots are at the same cemetery. They held out hope that someday their son would return home. Unfortunately, it had to be in this type of situation, but through and through, this Clarksburg, Berkshire County native, Private First Class Irwin King, was a true hero, gave his life in the battles over on the Solomon Islands, in the Battle of Guadalcanal, on this day back in 1942. So his family, his surviving family members, some grandchildren and grandnephews, say they are very pleased that his remains have finally come back and now they can all finally rest in peace. So that is the top stories we got for you tonight. We're going to be back in about a little while here for News Channel 13 at 11. Hopefully we see you there. And as always, thank you so much for joining. We love having you for NBC News Channel's 13 Now. See you next time.